So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday night, and I'm just about to go home. And I've just finished a mammoth exercise of fixing a paralever final drive for a customer's bike. It started out when it came in and it had been bought from an overseas traveller, and when I took it apart, it's all covered in little bits of shit at the moment because I had to jackhammer something out of there. Here is all beaten and chewed up. Down in here is all beaten and chewed up. On here is all beaten and chewed up. This has been flogged so much that the bearing can be slid on and off by hand. And just up the top here, somewhere just here, there's some bits missing out of a couple of the teeth. There's that in a few places, and the only thing that I can assume that happened there was that the ball race that runs, or the roller bearing that runs on the end of this, one of the rollers might have got out, I think, and got jammed in between here and here. In any case, it destroyed the thing. It beat the brake tube to a pulp. It did plenty. And the fellow, wisely, when he bought it, he rode it home, knew there was something wrong with it. He was told that someone, in the vendor's words, someone had been in there. And they had been in there, all right. The ball bearing bird had been in there, and a couple of their mates. Anyway, I was lucky enough to source a very good final drive from the BM shop, and unfortunately, it had a couple little bits missing. One of them was the shock absorber pivot here, and I couldn't get one quickly or easily, so I had to take the one that was in there out of here, and it was jammed in tight, so it air chisel with a punch on it. We broke all the casting away and heated it up till it was like ready to run across the floor, and we got it out, not quite as hot as that, but hot, and we got that pivot out and then installed it in the other final drive, and it's now ready to go back together, or back on the bike actually. And the reason that I did that was I started off going to actually do a little video just about pivot pins. But then I thought I'd show you what can happen if you don't look after your final drive. Ladies and gentlemen, do not take these things for granted. Trust me, they are expensive. They're bloody expensive to work on. If you happen to break one and you can't find second-hand parts, I don't even know if the gear sets are all still available, but boy, oh boy, will they be some money. And they're an exacting thing to put together. You know, you can't just fiddle with them. They've got spiral bevel gears in them. That's a spiral bevel gear. You can see that it's curved, and there's a fair bit of buggerising around to set them up properly. They adjust on two axes. The pinion needs to be set up so that it's the correct depth into these gears. That's done with shims in here, and a very, very expensive bearing right there. There's an outrigger bearing in that little thing there, which no doubt has been pummeled to pieces because it's as rough as guts, the pinion to turn. And then you have to set the backlash with shims. Oh, I've just knocked it over. And you have to then set the preload on the back of the big bearing. So there's a fair bit of stuff around in there, and you wind up with one of these. Now, paralevers, look, I've ridden a paralever for hundreds of thousands of Ks. It's my favourite bike in the world. I've got a few. I love them all, but I love that bike to bits. I've heard all these stories about how these pivot bearings are just sacrificial, and they're this and they're that, and some of that's true. But I tell you what, every time I ride that bike, the way that it behaves, the way it runs, the things it handles, it astounds me. And yes, the needle roller bearings that go in here are a bit short-lived. I got about 100,000 Ks out of one set, but I'm not a hard rider on dirt road, and it's the same old story with my customers. You know, I've got about 6 GSs in here at the moment, and some of them are people who ride hard, and I mean really ride hard. And then there are guys like me. I'll travel on a dirt road if I'm going somewhere and I need to get someplace, but go chasing it for a weekend and call it recreation, nah, not doing it. So I was on a forum the other day about GSs, and they were talking about brakes, and there was some discussion about, you know, bobbin brakes and race conditions and everything else. I don't build race bikes. I can build one. I would use all the people that I know who've built race bikes over the years, and I reckon I could build something quite competitive. But I don't build race bikes for most of my customers. I build bikes that they ride on the road, or ride on dirt, on recreationally. Now, having said that, there's two of the GSs in here that the blokes are mad. They need certification where they go and how fast they ride. So those bikes have to be treated a little differently. But in our case, here is the latest model of a oleo-bronze bush fitted into a paralever final drive. If you buy them, there are a few versions. They've been developed over time. Some are better than the others. These are steel. If you put a magnet on them, they're steel. The housing here is steel. Only the oleo bronze bush is not. See the grease trough in the back? That's the adjustable pin. On this side is the fixed pin. It's already just sitting there to keep the dust and crap out of there. We put it together with some moly grease. That pin goes in, and just like with the roller bearings, that pin is used to set the preload on the bushes. Now the preload on these brass bushes is not like setting the preload on a tapered bearing. It is only really designed to go in and kiss and be backed off about 1/3 of a turn, or even a little less than that, so that it's just kissing and snug. There's a tiny bit of movement side to side, much like you find in first gear on a 5-speed gearbox, probably 4th hour or less. And you can get it by feel over time. They adjust with hexes. They have a hole in there where a grease nipple goes on both sides. So you put the grease nipple in to service them, then put the bung back in when you're finished. Looked after, greased a couple of times a year and serviced, and you should be servicing your final drive anyway, and your swing arm, splines and what have you, and you will get a very serviceable life out of those, and they're quite inexpensive for what they do. Now, over here is another little story. These two gears are out of an early model Sandcast final drive, probably out of about an R79 or 80, R100 RS, I'd say. And it's been in to have an overhaul. It's all ready to go back together. I just have to re-clean it before I start work on it, probably tomorrow morning. And this is the crown wheel. Gears are in good condition. Spline was absolutely just stuffed. And I mean stuffed. I don't know where I put it down, or I'd show it to you, but it's been a long time since I saw a spline with razor blades on it. I can tell you that. I can't just see it now, or I would have put it here. I get these fitted by a fellow who's been doing my engineering for me for a long time, and he's been in racing motorbikes in the 60s and 70s. He's a very, very lovely man. He has a machinist who he taught from new. His name is Ross, and he is the gun of any machinist I've ever seen. He's the fastest, most accurate I've ever seen do anything. They put these in for me. They're extremely busy. They're very good. Everybody wants them to do work for them, and they take time. Now, the gentleman that owns this has been extremely patient. This has gone on for months, this one, I've got to say, unfortunately, for one reason and another. But it'll go back together shortly, and he'll be happy with it, I'm sure. The tolerances that you need to cut this weld away, press this out of the crown wheel, put it back in, and make sure that it's properly welded. Spiral bevel gears can't run out. If they run out more than a very small amount, they will start to eat each other. So if anybody is considering getting this done by a mate next door or something like that, because you can buy those spline sets and the coupling that goes on the wheel online, don't let them do it. The gears are horrendously expensive. They are a pain in the neck to set up. They can be easily destroyed if the setup isn't done properly. And I've seen two of these now done less than 30,000 Ks fitted by people who didn't really know, obviously, how to do it. They claim that the materials in these are crap. They're not crap. They've been made by people who would not be in business if they were selling things that are as difficult as that to replace and only went 20,000 kilometres or 30,000 kilometres. They have to be fitted properly. I pay the people to do the job. I'm not so proud and stupid that I would claim I can do it myself. I can't. But the end result means that we give back a product which is really, I believe, as good as we can do and as good as we can get it. So I just thought I'd show you, you know, like you're looking at anything from $800 to $1,500 to do a final drive, and that's a lot of money. They'll go a long time if they're done well. Seals don't cost very much at all, but when you start having to disturb things and put in bearings and shimming and stuff like that, it's all about time. And the bearings, particularly some of the big bearings, are extremely expensive and can only be bought from BMW. So pay some attention to your final drive. If you have any kind of single-sided swing arm bike and the back wheel can be moved around, do something about it. It's probably only the big bearing. Get it fixed before it does some more damage. Get it fixed before it does this. Or find a good second-hand one. Make sure you know it's a good second-hand one. You'll be back in the same boat. Just a few thoughts. Thought you might be interested to see what fills in my days around here, fixing things. I love it. It's great. But sometimes, boy, it frustrates me. Because a lot of this sort of stuff is preventable. These bikes are not human. They will not heal themselves. If they begin to misbehave or something goes wrong with them, they will not get better. You have to take it to someone and get it fixed, or fix it yourself. But fix it. Don't let it break first, because I'm telling you, this has turned into a very expensive exercise. Anyway, have a lovely weekend. Ride safely. Stay well till we meet again.